Hey y'all, this is Cody, man. I just wanted to let y'all know, this is the 20th anniversary. Yeah, man, that 20 years went by so fast. 20 years went by so fast. Right now I'm by my dad, chilling, drinking my water, whatever. See how he doing. I want to tell you that story, how I kind of missed that storm by like a month and a half. And at that time, I was just going through a whole lot, My dad and my stepmother was living with me, my sister was living with me. I was just going through a lot. I couldn't find a job at that time, and nobody wasn't hiring. Nobody didn't want to hire me, and back then they had this employment guides, and they used to have them every week. My bad. Have them every week. These employment guides. And I want to look for a job on there, right? Because they used to have the little newspaper things, the employment guide things, out in the street. So every time they have a new one in, I look for a job there. I couldn't get no unemployment because they said I neglected my duties and all this other stuff. It just was a whole lot of things going on, at that time. So, at that time I was working at the Hive, and this was going through a lot, and so I applied for this job because I saw it on an employment guide. And when I applied for it, it's in the Region Cruise Lines of America hiring. So that was like my last resort. So I said, you know what? I have no kids. I don't have no children. I have no kids. No nothing. Maybe the rent can be paid or whatever, but this can be an opportunity for me. So that's what I did. I applied. I went online and I applied. So they had this recruit. I forgot what hotel that I met him in. I don't know if it was I don't know what hotel was it. Was it the Windsor Court? I think it was. To meet this recruiter at Windsor Court. So I applied and met the recruiter at Windsor Court and got my paper. And he said, "Look, you're hired. You're officially hired. You're hired on the spot." So they hired me on the spot. That was like my second job. I got hired on the spot. Meanwhile, I'm waiting, right? And I told one of my friends, I went home, told one of my friends the good news, I got hired, right? I got hired working on a cruise ship, on one of the cruise ship companies, which was new at the time, sort of new, the Region Cruise Lines of America. And the Pride of Aloha led the way when it came to, which is the Norwegian Sky, which they will soon sell the ship. And then the Pride of America, I think, came after, but it was supposed to come like a year before, and it got flooded twice. Yeah, but back to the story. I'll tell y'all that the next go round. So I was happy. I was celebrating. Me and a friend of mine, we went to this place called the Offshore, which is now a restaurant or a hotel now. And there was a little bar that, we would go chill. And then another place we would we'll go to Piccadilly's and whatever like that. We go shoot pool here and there. And I think a few weeks later, I was still celebrating, right? It was around June, I think. So when July hit, get a phone call again, say, look, here's your date. And they gave me a date in a time frame when I'm going to leave on the ship. So I will leave. I left on, I think, the 14th or the 15th of July. And they told me to bring a flashlight, I said, well, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to bring a flashlight for, right? So I'm bringing, I said, okay, and buy a duffel bag. Didn't have money for a duffel bag, but at least my dad he gave me some money, right? Yeah, I'm sitting on the porch talking about my times. That's my dad. Back to the story. I was, went to Walmart on Chapatulas. Bought me a duffel bag for like $20 at the time. And I said to myself, damn, I'm setting off. Right? And as I did that, I was like, okay, what's next to buy, right? I just bought some clothes that I needed, right? And I should have, bought some stuff that I needed too, but that wasn't really important at the time. And one of my friends, his name was Katrina. He had a Cavalier. I told him I'm about to leave to Hawaii. He was the main one that, brought me to the airport on the early morning on July. So I left a month and a half before Katrina even hit. I'm worried, I just couldn't wait to get away from New Orleans at that time. So that's how my journey started, I'll tell you the rest, next time. You have a good one.